There's a big crowd in here today. Well, obviously yesterday was a really tough day for me personally. It was a real tough day for Coach Pittman and his wife, Jamie. But I think we all watched the same thing here at Razorback Stadium on Saturday in front of an incredible crowd, incredible atmosphere before a national television audience against the first time playing Notre Dame. And our performance was just unacceptable. It wasn't a Razorback football performance that any of us were proud of, and that ultimately falls at the feet of the head coach. And I'd often, through his tenure here, given Coach Pittman a lot of credit for how competitive we had been in the past 6 years. And he had gotten a lot of credit for those one-score losses, but at some point in time as a director of athletics, I had to hold him accountable for those one-score losses as well. So the culmination of what happened on Saturday and then a couple more one-score losses, one at Memphis and one at Ole Miss, just felt like it was time to make a change in the leadership of our football program. I met with Chancellor Robinson and President Silveria after the game on Saturday, woke up Sunday morning with a great sense of peace that this was the right decision at the right time, heading into a bye week, made that recommendation to Chancellor Robinson. It was approved by the board. I went to visit with Sam and Jamie at their house, ironically at their kitchen table, which is the same place that I hired them at in Athens, Georgia 6 years ago. As you can imagine, Sam was incredibly gracious, incredibly thankful for the opportunity that he had to be the head coach at the University of Arkansas, and made a really tough day as well as it could for me as the director of athletics. I then met with Coach Petrino at my house, asked him if he would be willing to serve for the remainder of the season as our interim head football coach, and he accepted that opportunity. And with that, we will open it up for any questions for Coach or myself.
Go ahead, Trey. I'm wondering, Hunter, on the decision to fire Sam, did the timing of things that have come with the portal being moved to January, does that make it an easier decision on when to change coaches and stuff versus maybe in the past when Sam hasn't had success and December portal opens?
I mean, the portal is a key factor in this, but I think more than anything, it was just heading into a bye week to have a transition with the head coach, having a bye week before we head to Tennessee. This was kind of a natural point to make that. We've got another bye week coming up later in the season, but I just felt like how we performed on Saturday gave me a little indication that maybe Sam had lost the team a little bit because they generally had played really hard for him throughout his tenure.
Coach Petrino, I'm sure you didn't come to paint. You look like you've made a lot of decisions early on with changing up the staff. Can you talk about what went into those decisions and then also the opportunity in front of you, because I'm sure you would consider this as an audition?
Yeah, first let me say how thankful I am to Coach Pittman for bringing me here and giving me this opportunity to come back to a place that I love. Very grateful for Hunter and Chancellor Robinson and the Board of Trustees for allowing me to come back a year ago and be an assistant coach here and then being able to do this. Whenever you make a decision, you base it off of, number one, what's best for the team. Number two, what's best for the individual players. And I felt that, it was in our best interest to do what we did this morning for our players to improve individually, get a little bit more motivated, and I think it'll help our team overall get out on the field and compete and find ways to win a game.
Hunter, I'm curious, is Sam's buyout, is it exactly how it's laid out in his contract, or did y'all negotiate that at all?
Yeah, we negotiated in the middle of, right now he's at 75%. If we'd waited till October and if the season continued the direction it was, he would have fallen below 500. So part of our meeting was getting his representatives on the phone, and we landed at a sweet spot for both of us. I thought it was 62.5%. It saved the university about $1.5 million and kind of fell between that 50 and 70% mark, 75% mark.
And then moving forward, when you're looking for the next head coach, are you confident that there are resources in place, you're going to be able to attract quality candidates, especially given your recent comments?
Yeah, I mean, coming out of our board meeting last Friday, I received kind of a charge from our board to come back to Chancellor Robinson and then with a plan of how we can increase the head coaches pool, the assistant coaches pool, the support staff pool, the operational pool moving forward, and how we would support the increases in that. And I'll have an opportunity to do that in the next couple of weeks, and I truly believe that we will have everything that we need in place to attract the best head coach for our program and give that head coach the resources they need to be competitive in the SEC.
Coach, what might you be able to do to help improve defensive play moving forward, and are there any other changes imminent to fill the spots that are lost?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing we have to do is get back to the principles of good defense, which is get into a great stance, get into a great alignment, run full speed to the football, shed blocks, and tackle well. To stop people on offense, you have to stop the run first, and we haven't been able to stop the run first. Some of it's been our fits by our linebackers. Some of it's been errors. So we're looking right now at really finding out what our base defense is going to be from here on, and then build the package out of that and simplify a little bit. If we simplify and play faster and full speed, then we'll have a better opportunity to stop people.
It's been a whirlwind the last couple of days, but I wonder if you've met with the team, and if you haven't, like what your message might be. And then, Hunter, will you meet with the team as well?
Yeah, the plan was to meet with the team this afternoon at 2:30. I've seen a lot of the players individually around the complex this morning, but team meeting's at 2:30.
What might be your message at that point?
Well, we got a number of things to talk about, but number one thing is that you have to get used to change. Your whole life there's going to be change. So how we handle that, our attitude on how we handle that, our positiveness on how we handle that, will determine how quickly we improve. We're going to improve. That'll determine how quickly we improve.
Hunter, will you have an address there too? And so many of the players on defense loved Travis Williams. Just maybe what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, I will be a part of that meeting, kick off that meeting, and talk about some of my reasons behind making that change. And like Coach, we still have 7 games left in this season. I think we still have a really good football team in that locker room and have the opportunity to win moving forward. And there is going to be a change and a lot of change and adaptability by these guys, and I think that's why the bye week is really key for that. And that will be similar to what Coach is saying about change. Change is a part of life. And how you respond to change will really tell you a lot about your life moving forward. And so I think we've got some really good kids in that locker room that will respond well to this change. It's not going to be easy for them, but that will be my message to them.
Hunter, obviously you were the one that hired Coach Pittman. I'm wondering, as you kind of enter a second coaching search, whether it be Coach Petrino or somebody else, what maybe did you learn from 6 years ago that you can take into this year?
You learn something from every coaching search. They all take on a life of their own. We've got a little bit longer runway on this coaching search and have a chance to get out ahead of that a little bit. Coach Petrino, as we met yesterday, I mean, he accepted this opportunity with the understanding that he also wanted an opportunity to formally be a candidate for our head coaching position, and he will have that opportunity. But we'll also subsequently run a search for our next head coach at that same time. And I've got a little bit longer runway to do that and to do my due diligence and do some really good research, and we'll find a good candidate, whether that's Coach Petrino or someone else.
And then Coach Petrino, obviously Coach Smith will take the title of OC, even though you'll keep the duties. Just maybe, does his role maybe formally change at all, or what kind of do you see on that side of the ball and some of the changes there?
Yeah, his role will change a little bit. There won't be a time where I'll have to step out of the room more. I won't be in there at some parts of the game planning. Kobe's a guy that played for me many moons ago and played professionally for the Chiefs, did an unbelievable job. He's been handling a lot of things anyway, like when I decided to make the decision to go up in the box, and he's handling the pregame information with the players and some of the things at halftime after I have to leave. I think he'll do an excellent job. I'm still going to call the plays, and something I love to do, and I'll be in the meeting room as much as possible, certainly game planning and working on third downs and situations. But I feel really comfortable when I step out of the room that they won't miss a beat. He'll just continue the meeting. That's one of the most important things, is when you're the head coach and you step out of the room, is that they don't just sit around and drink water, that you have a leader in there that'll take charge and continue as if you were still sitting in the room.
$100 million in buyouts to be paid out. You've talked a lot about financial in this revenue share era. What is the financial plan moving forward?
For the buyouts, we'll pay those out over the next 3 years, most likely from reserves in the Razorback Foundation, but we have the resources to pay those buyouts. We don't have any lump sum payments other than Coach Pittman's retention bonus. Everything else will be paid out over the next 3 years for him, and the assistant coaches all have roughly a year and a half. But the assistant coaches all have a duty to mitigate within their contracts as well that will help bring the value of those buyouts down.
And Bobby, some defensive players took to social media with a thumbs down after this morning's dismissals. What's going to be your message to them?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what I said. We all got to learn that there's change and there's things that happened. I think in football you have to always talk about courage and being courageous, and I think that's part of what we have to do now as a team, is understand that we all have to take the arrow in the forehead. We didn't win Saturday. We didn't perform like we needed to offensively. We didn't do it defensively. We didn't come up with any big plays on special teams. So it's all of us, and we just got to get together and become one. That's, I think, one of the issues we've had, is the separation in offense and defense. We need to be able to come together as one unit.
Hunter, how important is it to you and other decision makers, if at all, that a candidate has ties to either the program or the state?
I think that's icing on the cake if you can make that happen. I don't think you can go in that with being one of your guiding principles in your search. I think that's something that if someone has ties to the state, that is awesome and a bonus, but I don't think you can go into the search with that being one of your guiding principles.
And then, Bobby, are you considering any other staff moves, whether it be dismissals or just promotions internally?
We think that there's a possibility that we might need to add somebody to the staff for one of the positions. We're looking into that and certainly going to move as quick as we possibly can, but want to make sure it's the right person.
Bobby, for you, nationally, this job may not be viewed as something that's premier, but you lived it at its highest level. How special is this place whenever it's right?
It's a special place. I mean, that's why I'm so fortunate that I was able to come back here, and I think that we've got to get it back to that special place where everybody in the state is behind the Hogs and everybody is proud of the Hogs, and that's our job. We got to go out on the field and give the energy and the competitive spirit and show the heart that we have in playing the game of football so everybody can be proud of us, and that's what we've got to try to do here the next 9 weeks, is make sure that we can unify the state.
Hunter, is a bit of a follow-up to what Matt was asking there. This is naturally a very, very expensive process. As best as you can explain, will money in any way be a factor?
Absolutely, money will be a factor at some point in time because there's limited resources. But I think we saw with the hiring of Coach Calipari and what we were able to do there with him and his staff and what that's meant to our basketball program. I think we can build a similar model within reason for our football program. I think there'll be people across this state that will step up for us. I think there's an opportunity for the university to potentially help us, and we're continuing to look at new ways to generate revenue within our athletic program. Our football program is far too important to the overall health of our athletic program for us to take it for granted.
Hunter, last Friday at the Board of Trustees meeting, you tried to clarify what you had talked about at the Touchdown Club, but do you worry at all that the negative publicity that was generated by that might hurt you at all in your search?
I think when we're able to put in front of prospective coaches what the financial package for our program will be moving forward, I think that will alleviate any of their concerns about that.